What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, folks? You already know what time it is, baby. This is your boy, the historian. You either get right or you get left. You know how we get down. Go ahead and hit that like and that subscribe button for us. We got a hot one for you tonight. So sit back, relax, kick back, have a little drink. We'll holler at you soon.
Okay, y'all, this is it.
Birdcage. What's going on? You already know what time it is, man. You either get right or you get left. You in the birdcage tonight. This is your boy, the historian, Ryan Walker. I'm getting ready to bring in the magnificent birdcage crew, but we also have a special guest tonight. Last week, we had one of the best in the game, my guy Berto, 95 North. Shout out to those guys up there. But we also have one of his counterparts coming through tonight. We're going to let him tell you who he is. He's part of A1 Forever Sports, a part of that sports machine with Smitty. You know how we get down. But first, before I bring my guy in, before I bring my guy Chris Moore in, I got to bring in my guy, K-Dub, Killer Killian Worthy. What's happening, baby?
What it is, Birdcage crew, listeners, and subscribers. Good to be in the building tonight. We got some great intel and info to get into. If you haven't been told by the historian himself, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Tell a friend that the Birdcage is in the building tonight. We're ready to go. Let's get into it.
You already know what it is. What's up, Nando? So, as you can see tonight, before we get started, I told you, we support HBCUs up in the Birdcage, man. That's something that's near and dear to my heart, even though I wasn't a student. I was supposed to be, but I'm always going to support where I come from. And when you talk about on the educational side, before all these other schools started giving us opportunities, one of the schools that gave us an opportunity were schools that were started by our own folks. So I have a picture of the legendary Terrence Mathis behind me. That's the background. He just got hired for the head coaching position at Morehouse College. So, I got to give him a little love today on the show. He's Birdcage alum. So without further ado, we got to go ahead and add our guy, special guest, Mr. Chris Tip Moore, into the building. What's going on?
Hey, what it do? What the business is? How y'all doing, Birdcage?
What it is?
What's happening?
Good to have you in the building tonight with the Birdcage.
Hey, man, I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all got it, man. Thank you for having me on, man.
Man, you come through.
For sure.
Listen, y'all let me come through y'all house all the time, drink up all your Kool-Aid, eat up all your pig feet and all the ribs and chicken. I'm just joking. I'm getting on the vegetarian side soon, so you know how I go. But we definitely appreciate you coming in.
Oh, man, like I said, I appreciate y'all guys for having me, man. Thank y'all, man. Hey, man, y'all make sure y'all hitting them like buttons, man. Make sure y'all hitting them subscribe buttons if you're new to the channel. And everything, make sure you check my channel out as well, man. A1 Forever Sports, man, the show that's cool and fly too. We be generational because there's always time to be. And that's what we doing in Atlanta right now. We being generational, baby. We ain't selling for less because we got more with the vision. You dig me? But
I gotta hit you with this because you came with it. Hold up, just It's Black History Month, dog. We got to get to it one time. Rest in peace to the legendary James Brown, man.
Already.
Georgia born and bred, baby.
Yeah, 8 times forever.
Yes, sir. I just had to hit it up. I just had to hit a little something right there. But we got the old man in here. Speaking of old times, we got Great Beard.
Hey man,
what it do? Great Beard in the building.
Man, y'all can hear talking about the Godfather. Oh, regarding from the AUG, of course. Augusta, you already know what it is.
Augusta in the building. You already know.
Yeah, but man, shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to you, Chris, man. How everybody doing on the panel tonight, man?
Hey man, every day is a great day.
Better
days coming in Atlanta, man. I can feel it.
Boy.
Oh yeah, already.
Boy, long time coming.
You know what time it is.
Long time coming.
I didn't get a chance to get that James Brown out last week. It wasn't working, but I had to get it in this week because you think about all the historic stuff going on. Look, it's Black History Month, so you know what? Some of our viewers, y'all got to bear with us or whatnot, because we definitely not hiding who we are and what we do. No. I'm just telling them. You got when I say you gotta bear with us, we getting ready to rep this thing like a proud peacock.
Oh yeah, man, you might want to go ahead and enjoy the ride, man.
Yes, sir.
Hey, it's a wrap. February, it's a wrap. You might want to February 1st, it's a wrap.
Hey man, we already say our boy Brent was pulled out of the incubator a little too early or whatnot. He got some soul in him, dog.
Oh yeah. Man got soul, man.
Shout out to our guy Brent, man. What's going on? He's in the chat tonight. He's got some business he's got to take care of up in Tennessee. But we're going to go ahead and get this thing started. Coach Cam is going to join us a few minutes a little late. He's handling some business with the district out there, high school football coach. Got to get things right for his boys this year coming up. So let's go ahead and get to it, man.
We rocking like like a cutoff stocking right now. I mean, we're going to get it in. We got right here A1, we got Great Beard, we got the historian. And we got K-Dub. Let's up.
Hey man, let's get it.
Hey man, I had to change the colors today. I put the black on it today. We got the Dirtybirdz Topic color, as you can see. So the stripes are all black and white today. So we're gonna do it a little different. Got to jazz it up a little bit. So the first topic we're gonna talk about right now, because it seems to be a lot of disturbance with the local media and our new head coach at this point, because they're a little upset because he held a press conference 11 days after he was hired. Now, we didn't touch on it heavy last time we were in here, but we getting ready to go ahead and get to the kid and caboodle, because it wasn't just Orlando Ledbetter who it wasn't just Orlando Ledbetter who jumped on the bandwagon and started trashing our new head coach. Let's go ahead and talk about it. It's also Terrence Moore. So that's another guy that you got. That's another guy that's got to be called out for it, because during the Super Bowl, he has his little videos and he has his podcast show. He does his little 3-minute snippets or whatnot. But some of the things that he said in the snippet were accurate, but then some of the other stuff that he said, you just look at him like, really? Like, come on, man. The man hadn't been here that long. We know there's issues that need to be fixed outside of the quarterback position. We know we got to get better pass protection. We've got to get a few more pieces on the defense to become legit, because the defense was solid last year and we didn't even have a stud pass rusher last year. So getting to it, he kept Jerry Gray. He's bringing in a mixture of coaches from old school to new school style coaches. He's bringing a blend and a mixture to Atlanta. And the issue that we've had is it's not just you speaking out on him. It's the fact that the man hasn't even coached the game yet. He hasn't even gotten through the draft yet. We haven't even started with free agency yet. And you're already
can the man put the uniform on first?
Exactly.
I mean,
look.
Can he step in the facility? I mean, at least. I mean, dang. He ain't even know what
he can't step in the flowery branch right now. We renovate. But outside of that,
I'm just saying.
I'm good with the renovations.
What Coach WR And Terry need to do is make them haters your motivators, baby, because that's what they doing right now. Quit hating on some boys trying to goddamn ride out in that Cadillac right now. Let them do what they got to do.
Why do you think
give them the time to operate the way they need to operate? Because now then you can reflect maybe a year from now and say if we're moving in the correct and positive direction, but not right now when he just got hired. Man, ain't even hired a good month. And you throwing salt and you throwing salt at him.
No, wait a minute. They ain't throw salt at him. They threw stones at him. And this is why I titled this episode. It's called Casted Stones Builds a Foundation for the Falcons Empire Dreams. It's a reason why I said that. We got Empire on our mind because we want a championship that bad, and we're building right now. But at the same time, you got local journalists, those two journalists out of all people, you know, I'll be honest with you. You don't see any of the other journalists dogpiling on him. You pretty much see them saying, hey, we're going to give him a chance. He's doing what he needs to do. And honestly, it's sad to see those journalists that look like him dogpiling on him. And I'm speaking on it today. I'm speaking on it. And
I mean, it has to be
I feel like I've been under a rock because I didn't know that it was a major story like that. I really didn't know. And honestly, I'm gonna have to look and see who Mr. Moore is because I don't know him.
Wow, you don't know who Terrence Moore is?
What?
I do not. I do not, and I'm gonna tell you why. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why I don't know a lot of journalists and stuff like that. Because honestly, fellas, I'm studying to be in the same field, so it's only certain guys that I practice and I like to emulate myself after. And two of the guys that you just said are not one of those guys. So with that being said, like as far as looking at film and looking at the way to carry themselves professionally, those two guys are not two guys that just come to my mind. So honestly, like I don't look at a lot of people's footage because I'm trying to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. And respectfully, I don't want to go see your footage or I don't want to look at your things like that. Not in its entirety and be into it like that because I feel like it starts to take away from me. And honestly, I'm trying to be exactly where those guys are. Just and I graduate summer 2024. Can't wait for that, by the way.
Man,
but
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I'm in it.
That's motivation.
I'm in it. I'm really trying to be in it. So it's a lot of guys that I cut off. To be honest with you, and this is straightforward. I say 3 years ago, I used to be really heavy into 92.9 the game, you know, in the flagship station. Bro, since I've gotten deep into my schoolwork and everything like that and focusing on my degree, I can't tell you the last time I've heard anything that 92.9 say. Honestly, I get all my news from Twitter and everything like that about whether I just don't listen. I'm in it. I'm trying to be in it. I'm trying to be where they are. So it's no disrespect. I'm just focused on myself. So a lot of people I don't even know. And I'm not meaning to be under a rock like that. I'm really not.
No, you good, man.
But you know, I just feel like a lot of these guys.
You see it, I just feel like you see his face. You know who we're talking
about. I guarantee you it's one of them things. And I'd be like, oh, I promise you.
But Terrence always be doing that though. This ain't nothing new.
So here's the thing, fellas. Now, we're speaking on that. Now, here's the thing. Now, you're going into the field of journalism. I just graduated last summer, so I understand the pressures of it. I understand what you're going through, and I understand that grind. Once you walk across that stage, it's one of the greatest feelings in the world, man. It's like being born again. That's the best way to describe it because it's a weight off your shoulders.
I feel like I've been in high school all over again, man. I can't
wait.
I'm telling you, bro, it's an awesome feeling. And here's the thing. Now, I've said on the show, I love to get into sports journalism. You know, I got a political science degree in political science, international relations. Yeah, that's my degree, political science and international relations. I changed over from the medical field. So, you know, while I was in the service or whatnot, I had to change my major because I couldn't do the clinicals. And I had worked in a PT clinic for 3 years. So the gentleman that helps us do the injury report, he had some things going on. That's why we kind of had to push that to the side. Mr. David Shelton. That's my old boss. He was a therapist for over 30 years. So I had him coming in helping us with the injury report. But honestly, bro, one of the guys that I look up to, and I can speak on it, he's deceased now, but he was one of my favorite writers out of Sports Illustrated. He did talk shows. rest in peace to Mr. Ralph Wiley. He was one of the best in the game from Sports Illustrated. But, you know, he talked about, he was a former football player, HBCU grad and everything. But the thing about Ralph Wiley, boxing made him. And boxing was my first love. And football was right there with it. So I gravitated towards it. So like you're saying, when you talk about different folks that are in that mainstream media like that, they're really not any more rock solid folks. Because one of the guys that was around the city that was one of the best, you had two guys that were two of the best around the city outside of this gentleman. You also had Furman Bisher, for my old heads around Atlanta that know who he is. And then you also had Mr. Dave Kendrick that also wrote for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. I'm sorry, the AJC. So you had those guys, and then there was another guy, but he used to call games for the Falcons back in the day. But he also did basketball and so many other things. The legendary Dave Neal. I'm sorry, Bob Neal. Dave Neal is his son, but Bob Neal. So for my old heads out there, those are some of the names that I'm dropping today. So when you talk about how far that we've fallen off in the city from pure good journalism, sports journalism at that, there you go.
Man, I'm trying to tell you, it's a good drop off from what you're illustrating. Seriously, man,
but just think about it. These guys,
right there.
Think about it. No, it's gotten worse because they had a standard. They respected that no matter how bad it was. Yeah, they would talk about how bad it was, but they would respect the athletes to a certain extent. They had boundaries. So it was boundaries with that. And D. Orlando Ledbetter has no boundaries, and neither does Terrence Moore. So
and it's crazy because that's what I know D led for. You know, like that's what I know him for. Like to be that type of way, that type of journalist. And you know, everybody has their own way, and I prefer for everybody to be their authentic self and put yourself out there. You're gonna have people who's gonna like it and not gonna like it. You're not gonna be everybody's flavor.
Yep.
So, I mean, you're just not. I mean, I can be the most nice guy in the world. I'm still gonna have 100,000 people that hate me for no reason. Yep. So, it is what it is. It's life, man. You just gotta roll with it.
Can't be a people pleaser, man, especially in the business that you're about to be in.
Bro, I know it. And I'm learning it really, really, really fast. I'm telling you.
And you're gonna piss off some of those athletes with some of the stuff you say because they're sensitive.
Bro, I feel like I'm pissing off content creators. I got people that still won't even hit me back that I've done shows with. So it's just, hey man, you just come in and start stepping on toes, or if people start seeing your growth, they be like, oh, okay, well, at the same time, you is the competition. So I'm not gonna bring you on my platform anymore. The thing about it is I'll bring anybody on and I'll do a show with anybody. I'm not tripping.
Yeah, man.
And that's how we get down here. It's all about respect up in the Birdcage, man. As long as you come in here and you networking and respect.
That's what it is, man.
Because here's the thing, and this is what we tell people in this field: you have a right to have your opinion. You have a right for that. You're an American. And me and my military brothers on this panel and all my military vets that's in the chat right now, salute to y'all,
all you brothers,
active duty. All of us that have given up some of our freedom at one point of our life where we had no rights and really had nowhere to talk. Let's just be honest, man. It's just what it is. So at the end of the day, I look at it like, hey, this is just what we do. But we're not gonna spend too much time on the bum journalist.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go ahead and get to it. Shout out to our guy Mike. Mike, this is one of the content creators that Mike talk a lot of trash. He from old punk ass New Jersey. Yeah, I said Mike. Jersey Mike. Punk ass. I got my Bernie Mac. I got my boxing gloves on today, Mike. I want some of you today. I want you. I'm in my
come on,
wait a minute now. We got Coach Ryan.
I'm just joking. I love my guy Mike.
We got Coach Ryan here, and we got Terry Fontenot. So we gotta handle ourselves like gentlemen around the Atlanta Falcons.
Do you wait a minute? We can look. I love Mike. Is my guy. Mike's all the way out in Puerto Rico.
We don't even drink out of glasses no more. We drink out of mugs.
Yeah. Well, remember this. They truly went from ashy to classy for real, because that's our next topic. Because you got two guys, one from Newark, New Jersey, and anybody that's been to Newark know about the belly of the beast. We talked about it. And then you got another one that's from that's from the heart of the city in New Orleans. So both of them came up in rough areas. They went to great schools. You have Terry Fontenot that went to Tulane, and then you have Raheem Morris who came out of Hofstra. Those are two hard schools to get in. So anybody that is in the academic world, in the realm, you understand the weight of those degrees, and you really have to be intelligent to get through those schools. So we have intelligent people in this front office right now. We have people with common sense that can walk and chew bubble gum at the same time.
Right.
Now that you Arthur Blank is, I'm taking the gag off. I'm gonna let him go. Pretty much he gave him the Jackie Robinson treatment for the first 3 years. Now he's taking the gag off. It's on now. So here's a question I got for you. Does it surprise you that the brotherly love type of relationship that you saw was formed in 10 days the way that it was? Like, just seriously.
Not gonna lie to you, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I'm gonna tell you just a small reason why. We act like Terry and Raheem haven't seen each other before.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Terry has been in New Orleans for like the last forever. And then you got Raheem, who has been around the NFC South once a few times. So I'm pretty sure the guys have definitely rubbed elbows, bumped into each other in the hallway, anything. You know, executive meetings, because you know this is all one big franchise together, just broken up into teams. So corporate meetings, I'm pretty sure. So just that alone, you know, so I'm pretty sure it's familiarity. And these guys coming together, and they've seen each other before back when the hiring process was going on. I'm pretty sure, you know, even though Terry wasn't here, they were saying that he was still having some kind of dealings with the organization, even though he wasn't officially hired. That's basically what it sounded like to me. But either way it go, man, Raheem has been around the league. Terry has been in the league. These two are brothers that are intelligent. And I believe as soon as the first conversation that they had, they realized just how intelligent the other was. And when you have an intelligent conversation like that, or people who have the same vision that you are, you just want to be a better football team. You just want to put the best product out there. It's easy for things just to click. You know, it's easy. We got the same goals. We got the same visions. We're trying to win. We're trying to redeem the 2016 team. And it really stood out to me that Raheem called Atlanta home. It really stood out to me about that, because I want somebody, regardless of who the coach is, I want him to want to be here, to make us feel like, hey, yeah, I want you guys. Even if you don't want me, I still want you guys. Because that's how it is. Because, you know, right now we're still a little split. I feel like more people are coming around, but I still see a few that's trickling around that's still out on it. And we got to be fair. His record is what it is.
Yep.
Right? We have to be fair about that. But at the same time, this is his second time around, and it took a while for him to get it. It wasn't just a type thing. It took a while for him to become the head coach. He even got teased as being the head coach back in 2020. He even got a little teased. And then he still didn't get it. So now what you got to do, become a defensive coordinator, go win you a championship, and then let's come back around yet again. And now finally, home.
Yep.
Perfect, man. Perfectly
and when you talk about home, the last coach that described it was Dan Reeves, that called it home because he was from Rome, Georgia. So for those who don't know about Dan Reeves, Rome, Georgia guy, South Carolina Gamecock legend, ended up playing for the Cowboys, coaching, winning some Super Bowls as a player, won one as a player and won one as an assistant coach. And then he goes on that incredible run in Denver that always gets forgotten because they lost in those Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And it goes from that to he comes to his home state and coaches for his hometown team and takes us to our first championship and wins an NFC championship in 1998. And man, Terrence Moore
could have got that championship in 98. That just would have just capped it off for him. He could have retired and just been
I'm trying to tell you.
And Terrence Mathis came on the show and he talked about it. And if you ever go on YouTube, you can go back and look at the 98 Atlanta Falcons, and every player all the way still up to this day right now they talk about the little things. Dan Reeves has always been a coach that stressed the little things. And, you know, now he pissed people off in Dallas. I'll tell you that now. Terrence Mathis was blunt and honest, and he said he hated playing for him. A lot of guys hated playing for him. My godfather, Clarence K., that played for him in Denver, he could not stand him, but he played for him. He respected him to a certain extent. You know, my godfather doesn't get hurt. You don't know who Shannon Sharp is unless he goes to Green Bay. Now, anybody that's true football heads know about Clarence K., Georgia Bulldog legend, as well as a solid player for the Broncos. But again, Dan Reeves was one of those coaches you couldn't trust. Raheem Morris is a player's coach. He's a guy that guys will go through a wall for and actually fight for. And you saw that when he was an interim coach.
Indeed, you did see that, man. And it's doesn't it just feel like we just wasted 3 years, though, y'all?
Oh God, yeah.
Like, don't it just feel
we wasted 3 years because of the stubbornness of our owner. I mean, he had to finally come around, and PSLs, people were dropping their season ticket holders. I mean, or just reneging. So it's like I have to simmer this over. So what's the next big thing? We've been saying we need a black coach. How long has this city been starving for someone of some color to match the city? That's what this city is, man. We got to quit. We got to quit pacifying and act like we don't see what's out there, like the elephant is in the room. And it's gonna be people that are against this African American black coach. But guess what? They'll come around. All he has to do is now is win. He's built the staff. We go get that quarterback. We hit a home run with that, and we move forward. These guys that are on the fence. I mean, what's to say? I wasn't on the fence about Arthur Smith. So it's like you have to take it with a grain of salt. Just like we had to sit around and wait and see what this coach did by taking all these skilled players instead of taking a quarterback, and we had to see the fruits of that labor. So we had to see what two dope boys in the Cadillac gonna do. We just got to sit back and watch and wait for it. That's it.
Yeah, man, he looked like a law firm, man. Fontenot and Morris. Like,
When you saw the picture I put together for it, because I said, you know what? It's like, all right, if he gonna say two dope boys in the Cadillac, I'm gonna give it an old school. Baby. I'm gonna give it an old school 90. I'm gonna give it an old school 95 twist to it, 94, 95 type of twist to it, man. Had to. And, and, you know, had to have the old Fulton County Stadium sign in the back. So for those who remember that stadium, that's when we weren't punk ass fans. That's when we was actually, we talk trash, we'd hoot and holler. When we went to the Georgia Dome, see, he sipped that. He sipped that mug earlier. We became bougie.
The difference of the fans of when we were in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium and what we are now is we had the transplant era. We had the transplants come in. So you don't have the true, we don't have the true diehard Grady babies, Northside, you know, so we don't have them. You won't have them babies no more. We got transplant and moved here. And so when they might have been here for 10, 12 years, but they're originally from Pittsburgh. They're still a fan. Originally from Chicago, originally from New York, originally from somewhere else. So it's like they don't have ties, they don't have them ties to Atlanta. So when we was in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, you had them red clay GA boys in there.
Right.
You know, with a bill. And some dip in their mouth. We had all that.
It's a
now, I just met somebody from Maine. I'm like, what the hell you doing down here?
Just
you very rare. Hey, stamp this. Everybody in the chat, stamp this. You very rarely meet a new person in Atlanta and they from Atlanta. They say, hey man, if you meet somebody new, they like, well, I've been living here 6 years, but I'm from California or I'm from Texas or whatever.
But that's why I'm glad.
How often you meet somebody that's an AT or somebody new? I ain't talking about you grew up with or something like that. About a new person that you meet in your life in the city of Atlanta and they from there.
And you know
what's that?
I can tell you know one person in the last 3 years, probably just one out of the last three.
Well, you got
that's what I'm trying to get at. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Two of them on the panel right now, bro. You got myself. I'm a graded baby, Southwest Atlanta. I was one that moved from the city. Wasn't by choice, but moved from the city to Duval County, so that's my second home right there. You know what I'm
So
saying?
I mean, this podcast,
and it's just what it is.
Brought us together, and we some eight-time representatives. But I'm saying, if you're in the city, that's what I'm trying to get at. If you're in the city of Atlanta, not us that brought this Birdcage together. We're saying if you meet someone new in Atlanta, if you live in Atlanta, they are not originally from there. Trust me.
Yeah,
they are not.
Right.
They like you be like, man.
Yeah, true. True.
But you are still from the state. You still from Augusta. You still got some red clay.
Yeah, I'm talking red clay in your veins, boy.
That's what I'm trying to get at. I'm saying if you living in Atlanta right now and you meet somebody, they are not originally from there. They might have been living there for 6 years, 5 years, 7 years, 8 years, but they are not from there. So that's what happened to our fandom. Our true fans that are probably born and raised, Atlanta done got so crazy they moved out. Like you did, like I did. We don't live inside the city no more because we done lived the 80s, 90s, in the early 2000s. And we said, you know what? It's time to you know what I'm saying, skedaddle. We still love the city. We still gonna come back in and come to games, but we don't want to be right there in the inner city no more. So somebody taking our place, which is a transplant. And then when they do go to a game, they don't even know how they repping for their city. They going there thinking it's a club. I'm gonna stay on that. This is not a club. That is a stadium for football. And you need to go in there act like you're going there for football. I don't care if you're upset or pissed off watching this.
When Michael quit making it like that though. They gotta quit making these stadiums like clubs though.
No, what I'm saying is I understand they built it. They built it because that's what they're on in 2024 to make money, entertain. But I'm trying to put out there to anybody that's watching the Birdcage, we need you in your seats, ready to study the game. I mean, it's not a fashion show, it's not a club. It's there. I understand. We're going to go there and fellowship with our Falcon fans. We're going to do our tailgating. We're going to do that type of thing. But this season here, you got to show up for them boys, man. You got to show up for what we're trying to do here, man. Because it's going to be people hating harder than ever now. Because you know who in charge. Y'all know who in charge, so they're going to be hating even harder than normally hate.
Oh yeah.
So we got to come with a vengeance, Falcon Nation. Yep. We got to come with it. That's all I'm saying.
Man, let's call it. Hey, man, let's call 100%. It for what it is, man. Just like the old sign for my Fulton County babies from back in the day, and I call them like that. If you remember Fulton County Stadium and you remember the sign, if it ain't red, it's dead. If you remember that sign, you old school Atlanta, baby. You old school Fulton County Stadium, and you understand that. You know, like I told you, my first game was in 1991. Deion Sanders was still playing prime time. Was there, and you had Showtime Andre Rison playing against the Seattle Seahawks, my first game, and watched how Jesse Tuggle beat down Dave Craig, how Michael Haynes and them boys showed out and got that dub. Like that was my first game as a Falcon fan, and I was a young knee high to a grasshopper. So it's just one of those things, man. Like for me, when I moved to Jacksonville, man, my mama will tell you this, my aunts and all them will tell you that. Well, you grew up. Nah, man, it's forever I love Atlanta. Yeah, that's my second home, but it's forever I love Atlanta. That's tatted in the heart. And I got laughed at being a Dog fan. I got laughed at being a Falcon fan. Oh, they didn't trash me about the Braves because half of them were Braves fans because they represented the South. But I got laughed at for being a Hawks fan. So for me, I take pride in my city winning championships or being competitive, and instead of being laughed at, because I'm letting you know now. Let Atlanta win. Let Atlanta mess around and win a Super Bowl, especially next year. If the plans line
First of all, I'm taking off.
Especially if we win. Just think about it.
I look at it like this:
if we win New Orleans, it's a done deal. We shutting the city down.
Honestly,
if I was the mayor, I would do right and go ahead and put something out immediately after the Super Bowl or when it's intact. Then be like, everybody off tomorrow. That's all I got to say. That's
I wasn't gonna come in regardless.
That's the tweet. Everybody off.
I'll take that point, Powell. No, hey, I ain't coming in.
Talking about PTO. Come through.
I'm trying to tell you.
I'm about to say PTO coming through. Now I got something for you because Coach Cam is very quiet on this one. But I want to talk about a little something. I'm gonna let him start this off. Another topic we got, because we definitely got to let something rolling, man. So, for everybody that's Falcon fans, thank y'all for tuning in. But everybody that's real ATLians, you understand where we come from with this and where it's in the heart, man. So it's just we got pride in what we got pride in this city, man. Regardless of what you think, is home. It's always gonna be home. And especially these funky birds win the Super Bowl, forget it.
Yeah, man, the city gonna shake if they win Super Bowl.
It's gonna shake like a shoe model in Magic City.
Yeah. It's gonna be like shake some.
It's gonna be so crazy. You're gonna have everybody out in the streets, like even the people that know they ain't supposed to be out there. They're gonna be out there like, what it do?
Can we say freak? Can we say freak Nick over again?
It's definitely gonna be.
I was too young to be out there with it. But my cousin was out there, so
I wasn't.
Brother, you got to think about this now.
Hey, look, there was some good times, man.
The Atlanta Hawks could win a
damn
championship
good time
next year, right? They could win 2 back-to-back. The Hawks could win 2 back-to-back, and the Falcons, them winning 1 Super Bowl. That parade will still be bigger than both of the ones that the Hawks had did back-to-back.
Exactly.
That 1 Super Bowl win would bring people from all over the place who are not even living in Atlanta, who may be from Atlanta. They come down here to that Super Bowl.
Yeah, they coming in. They coming in. They showing up like that last Outcast concert. That last. That thing was off the chain. That's how they showing up.
Man, just think about this. Now I live it.
Oh yeah, I was in the building. I got to be in the building for historic stuff.
But K-Dub, now just think about this. Now you and I talked about this off the phone. Now, the most painful thing for me was 2017. Now, I was in the service at that time. I'm in the city up here in Philly, and I watched the Falcons lose that game. That hurt. Like, literally, that hurt. But let's just be real. I watched how these fools acted up here in Philly when they won that Super Bowl. They destroyed. When I say destroyed, like parts of their downtown city, the mayor wasn't even mad about it. The mayor was out in the middle of the street destroying stuff with them. This how it's bad.
I don't see them destroying it. Like I see us partying, like these clubs and the bars gonna make a lot of money.
Bro,
I'm just saying I know what they did in Philly. I said if we was to win, I don't see them tearing up the city like that.
Bro, but here's the thing. This is how you know it's bad. When they got to grease poles for a championship, they grease light poles because people tear them up. I'm serious. They grease light poles because people will climb up those light poles and tear them down. So when people climb up, they falling off. And it's a video on YouTube. There was a dude eating horse manure. Seriously.
Come on, man.
No, I'm telling you the truth. Like, these people was out here. Like,
I've seen that one.
Yo, that's why I'm like, I just want to, this is my thing. I'm afraid.
It's worth doing that. I'm sorry.
I'm telling you though.
But let's be real though, Chris. If and everybody on this panel, if Atlanta win a Super Bowl, and especially in New Orleans next year, say if we get a stroke of luck and it just happened, because we got a team ready to win right now.
Bro,
what if we just catch
a whole lot of fighting and getting locked up down there?
Bro,
I don't think do we really want to win it down there? Gonna be a lot of black folks.
Yes, because that's bragging rights forever. I'm gonna tell you right now.
But I'm just thinking about our fans that are down there. It's gonna be a lot of us getting locked up. We're gonna be doing a lot of fighting now. I know we win a Super Bowl.
Oh, I ain't gonna lie. We got them tooth and claw our way out of New Orleans.
That's what I'm trying to get at. I'm thinking about my fellow Falcon faithful here. What's going down?
Hey Chris, now here's the thing that hurt me to my heart. Now I know I'm finna catch hell for it, but I don't care. I got an auntie that's a New Orleans fan. She from New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? She through marriage. I love her. That's my partner right there, except during football season. I can't stand her. Because she a Saint fan. But the only thing we got in common is we love Southern University, but that's where the parody stops. Can't stand it. But getting back to it, speaking of not standing something, there was a former NFL MVP and media personality who did not like the fact that those stories came out false, and he kind of put some truth on it. Mr. Boomer Esiason, 1988 NFL MVP, media personality. He spoke out at the Super Bowl about Bill Bellichek turning down the job in Atlanta because he was like, well, everybody's saying that they just bypassed Bellichek. No, Arthur Blank offered him the job. Bellichek wanted the terms that Bellichek wanted. Arthur Blank and that staff were not going to agree to. Bellichek had the job. Not saying that Raheem Morris was second fiddle, not at all. But hey, when you get somebody to turn down the job, you're going to go to somebody who wants to be here and who wants to pretty much agree to these terms. But they weren't going to give Bellichek all that power. And
at all.
This is what was said by Boomer.
I didn't see anybody give him that power. I still see him coachless right now, teamless. I'm sorry. So
that's
I mean, we
though, fellas. That's
what I'm trying to get at. Why are we kicking a dead horse, man? We got Raheem the Dream. They need to get over it and quit crying over spoiled milk and leave it alone.
And man, that's exactly what Boomer media is, y'all.
Y'all know how this remember it was just the Falcons don't go get Lamar Jackson. Then next thing you know, Falcons don't hire Bellichek. It's always something that the media wants us to do. They want to dictate the franchise so they can do whatever they want us to do. Now, Lamar Jackson is a great talent, but honestly, I don't think he really was available.
I think he used us as a pawn.
That we offered Lamar Jackson, the Ravens had the opportunity to come through and match it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think we were used as a pawn, just to make the money go up.
That's what I'm saying, man. Come on, like they always try to bait Atlanta or try to put Atlanta in some BS. Y'all seen? I don't know if y'all be watching the Hawks later, but y'all seen what was going on in that trade deadline with DeJounte. They always try to blow ball the Hawks or the Falcons or the Atlanta franchises. Period. So it's the narrative and it's the media just trying to create all new narratives and everything like that. Oh, I've already seen. Will the Falcons regret not hiring Bill Belichick for Raheem Morris? I'm just like, no. I'm like, man, come on, man. Y'all cut it out. Y'all cut it out, man.
And here's the thing that folks are, you know what I'm saying, bringing up some stuff. And I said hands down where Boomer Esiason really, I've always respected his honest opinion because Boomer has always been an honest dude. Fiery as hell, but very honest. And he said, man, y'all need to get, and he said it too. He said, y'all need to get over this. Raheem Morris is the coach. Y'all are still digging because y'all want Bill Belichick to break Don Shula's record. But guess what? Nobody's trying to hire him because they know that if you give him a job, you're going to have to relinquish half of your damn franchise for this man to run. And if he runs it into the ground, he gets his 15 wins, he's going to retire and slide out the door, and you still got a pile of mess right there that you got to deal with that he made. So it makes sense.
You said half. That's funny. You said half. No.
I know, right?
Bill Belichick wants the full cake. He wants the whole cake and some.
There you go.
But that's really the reason why Atlanta he didn't take the offer here in Atlanta because of two things that Terry said during the press conference. This is a collaborative session. So this is a collaborative mindset. So everyone is going to be involved with what comes to Atlanta and how it comes to Atlanta. Bill Belichick wanted his hands in everything, and no one could say or push back anything that he said. So, I mean, would I have liked to see Bill Belichick here just because of what he would bring? Yes. But did I want to see him here in Atlanta because of everything that we know he was trying to do? Hell no.
Absolutely not. I wanted Belichick the coach, and that's it. Nothing more. I wanted him, but I know he wanted to bring in his team and stuff because people think Bill Belichick do a lot of things by himself. He does not. He has a team of people that he trusts and believes in when it comes to scouting players, when it comes to player personnel, advisors, if you will. So it's just like he wants to come in and bring his people. That's all it is. That's anywhere he goes, and that's why it was only one team that was looking at him, and that's the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, nobody else. We don't want all the retreads.
Nobody else. I've been saying that for years. I said, can we stop getting retreads and can we get some fresh blood in the building, some new ideas? You know. And speaking of new ideas, now there's been articles and there's a lot of stuff talking right now. Morris, like I said earlier this week, Coach Morris. I'm not calling him Raheem. That's Coach Morris because he deserves that title, and nobody wants to call him that. So I'm calling him Coach Morris. Coach Morris is holding his ideas to his chest. pretty much like playing a spades game. You're not gonna let somebody know when you trump tight. You just gonna baptize them when the moment arrives. And think about it. He and Terry are playing spades right now with the NFL and the media. They're not letting you know what's up. Because if you saw how they interacted, and they laughing and cutting up, it's like, yeah, they want us to drop some gems, but we ain't saying nothing. We just gonna go ahead and just when they throw something out, say you throw a king of club out or something like that, you think you're gonna walk with it. I'm gonna hit you with a low spade and I'm finna take your king of club. They literally are playing that right now because at this point, you can get Russell Wilson because you guys talked about it on your show the other day, and $12 million a year, you can get him for the cheap, pretty much. If when Denver cuts him, you can get him for the cheap, and then draft your future franchise quarterback to sit behind him and learn. It didn't hurt Jordan Love because you see the type of animal he is, and you're creating hunger, and you're teaching the guy how to play, and it's not teaching him the playbook, it's teaching him how to be a professional and getting mental reps. That's what them sitting on the sideline what that does to those players. You're understanding how to play the position at a high level by watching others. That's what they mean by mental reps for those who don't understand that term. And the other option on the table is this. The Bears they're flirting with a second round pick to get rid of Justin Fields. Yep. They really are. They're flirting with that. It's not a rumor. It's true. They really want to possibly get another quarterback outside of Justin Fields because I think they've had their fill with him and they don't want to have to pay him because Chicago is notorious for flipping nickels like manhole covers. And that goes back to the days of the late, great George Halas, Papa Bear Halas, one of the founding fathers of the NFL. He's always been cheap. So it's nothing new. So
they need to turn over a new leaf or something because they still talking about George Halas and all this crap. It's 2024.
Hey, well, here's the thing: his daughter is running.
They got it placing out here right now. You talking about George Halas? Come on, man. They better start paying up.
You speaking on inflation. I'm speaking on the fact that they don't like to spend money. Why do you think they got rid of Roquan Smith? And he
I understand that. I'm saying I'm just speaking on their organization. They need to get with the time and start paying people. That's all I'm saying.
Look at Brian Urlacher.
They haven't been paying people for years. You think about it.
I mean he's correct on that. I know that they haven't. I know they got a history of not paying folks, but I'm just speaking on people need to start getting paid when they need to get paid for their work.
I mean, when your best linebacker got paid a rookie contract pretty much his whole career. And he played there for, I want to say, 13, 14 years, and 12 years of that, he played on a rookie contract. Like, they don't pay anyone. And that's going to Brian Urlacher, Lance Briggs, whoever the case is. So I'm going to be surprised if they pay DJ Moore because he got a contract coming up soon. So we going to see what they do because, like you said, Chicago has been penny tight since forever. And I just don't see them paying anybody anytime soon.
Anybody.
All you gotta do is go up there and look at the pennies that they got in the vault up there at Soldier Field or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? They've squeezed all the boogers out of George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson. If you look at those coins, you see platinum boogers and copper boogers coming out. That's how tight they squeeze their money. But if we were to get a Justin Fields in this system, we already know the athletic ability is there. We all see that. Yeah. But the thing that he would have here, the offensive line is slightly better. We just got to get better with the pass protection. I've been saying that for the longest. But when it comes to the running game and the pieces that's here already, you have pieces that could help him out.
Oh, yeah.
Kyle Pitts, Cordell Patterson,
Jonnu
Smith. You got Drake London. You got, Mac Hollins if they ever play him. You have players that could help him out. And Tyler Algier. Can't forget about the tank. So if you get him, another option is this. If you flip and grab a Justin Fields, you can get you another quarterback in the lower round so you can build up your quarterback room because Desmond Ridder got to go. I'm sorry. Rid got to go. And you build up your depth that way.
Don't be surprised if y'all still see Desmond Ridder on this team. I'm just saying.
If he's a backup, that's fine.
What I'm saying, he's cheap. So I can see him being on the team.
Don't be surprised because yes, he's still on his rookie contract, and you really don't want to just trash that. I mean, it's valuable. So it's a possibility of that. But for me, if I had to go Russ or Fields, man, it's tough because I don't want either. But I know I'm not big on either. I'm not big on Russ due to age, and I'm not into.
I'm with you on that.
I'm not into trying to get 30-plus-year-old quarterbacks. I understand he's still serviceable. Russ had a great year, and I believe if he was in Atlanta this year, we would have definitely won more games, definitely went to the playoffs, all of that. Yes, and more yes. But I'm just thinking about going into the future. Do I trust Russell Wilson in Atlanta? Do the Falcons franchise want that circus that would come with Russell Wilson being here? I'm just talking about things outside of football now. It's different things that you got to think about if you bring Russell Wilson in, and how long is the shelf life? Yeah, we don't know if Russell Wilson gets down here and still gives us Denver production. We don't. Right. I know everything is a risk. Everything is a risk in football. But for me, I would rather go get my guy. I don't want to. As we were just talking about retreads, right? Yeah. So I'm
with you, A1. You must have read my damn brain.
Right? Now here's the question I got. Now you in that case, I got a question.
I'm just saying, hear me out. I'm just saying. So in that case, I would rather go get my quarterback, whether it be moving all the way up to go get Caleb Williams.
I'm going to go get
whether it be moving up in the draft to try to get Drake May or Jalen Daniels. I'm really high on Jalen Daniels more than anybody. But if it's one of those guys, I prefer to roll the dice with one of those rookie quarterbacks, still getting maybe a veteran or something like that. But I'm not really I prefer to take the rookie, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think it's some guys that are really coming in that are going to be some gamers, and those are like the top three. I know a lot of guys are in on Penix.
I'm on the Penix train. I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah, and the thing about this, I'm not saying Penix is trash. I'm not saying Penix is trash. But those other three guys that I just named, I feel like would be better for the franchise.
They would.
Long term.
They would. But the key thing with me is Penix will be there at 8. Penix will be there at 8. I just feel like teams
I wouldn't take Penix at 8 though.
But he'll be there at 8. He won't be there in the second round. I'm gonna tell you that now.
Now that's a possibility of that if somebody feels desperate enough to take a quarterback, because I don't want to be left with Bo Nix. I can tell you that. I don't want to be left.
Well, there you go. You better take Penix. You won't want Bo Nix.
Wait a minute. Hold
up. To be honest with you, if I had to choose between Nix and JJ McCarthy, I'm going McCarthy. And that may sound
I take you on that. I do like JJ McCarthy over Nix, but I'm saying I like Penix out of all three of them. He said he has the quickest release out of all these quarterbacks you're talking about.
Right.
And in the NFL, you need to have a quarterback with a quick release, and we have an offensive line that can't goddamn hold water.
Apparently we saw what happened to him when he went up against a real defense.
Bro, fellas, we got to go get our Matt Ryan, our franchise quarterback. You remember how people used to trash Ryan, and now we see. Yeah, you can't just pull the franchise quarterback off the tree, my G. So you got to go get one of your guys.
We just held on to Matt Ryan too long. That's it. That's it. He had some great years. I'm not poo-pooing Matt Ryan. We got to know when to get rid of people.
The longevity, we need to go get one of our guys. Russell Wilson will not be in the league for another 10 years, probably not even another 5.
No, I back you on that. I back you on that.
Justin Fields.
So Chris, I want to ask you this because we got to stop the damn press right now. Now I'm getting ready to come correct with this one because see you done woke my black ass up and I'm about to come with it now.
All right, okay.
You in my house and you literally rang that doorbell just now and I was sleeping. Now I'm woken up. Now,
okay.
Caleb Williams. Now you spoke on this. Keep his monkey ass up out of here. If you watched the show last week, I spoke on that. I stand 10 toes down on it. And the reason I stand 10 toes down on it because I'm not taking a crybaby in my locker room. I'm not taking a guy who can't face the press. I'm not taking a guy who daddy wants to try to be a LeVar Ball type and try to run this organization. Oh, we need to get 10% of the franchise. Negro, your son ain't thrown one NFL pass. Sit your black ass down in Maryland and eat you
We
some
don't even know
crab
you know how to. We don't even know
man.
he know how to read NFL defenses yet.
No,
Get the hell out of
exactly.
here.
Because let's be real. When he went up against top tier talent on defense, he folded like a cheap paper fan at Auburn Avenue's on Auburn Avenue's church, bro. Let's keep it real. Tulane gave him problems, and Tulane had ballers on that team. Now,
they did.
And let's be real. This dude has all the talent and the ability to be one of the greats talent-wise.
The build for it and everything.
But here's the thing. Mentally, he's jacked up. Let's keep it a buck. Mentally, he is jacked up. He is an entitled quarterback who I wouldn't trust in a foxhole with me to throw a pear in a fruit fight. I'm gonna keep that real with me. I'm gonna keep that real, dog. And let's keep it a buck. Drake May is a guy I would trust.
Daniels. I
said I was on Daniels, but if we cannot get Daniels, I've already said there's a guy that's in Tulane that beat Caleb Williams that I would trust, and that's freaking Michael Pratt. A lot of people are overlooking that dude, and Michael Pratt he didn't have the numbers that a Brock Purdy had, but he definitely led that team to Tulane to big wins, and they were bowl eligible every year he was there.
Right.
And they knocked off some big time teams that had NFL talent. And the guy just looked at the challenge and said, okay, they're not going to give us a chance, so let's go ahead and take it. And I'm not comparing him to Brett Favre, but if anybody remembers how Brett Favre was at Southern Miss, how he wasn't scared to play anybody and they was knocking off folks, Jerry Glanville fumbled the ball when he got rid of it. And that dude has that type of makeup. So if I'm not going to get any of these big time names y'all are talking, give me a Michael Pratt. And then if you don't want to go down that route, give me a damn Jeremy Musa out of FAMU as an undrafted free agent or another 7th round pick.
You've mentioned that name.
I'm standing 10 toes down on it, dog.
Mentioned that name before.
What about the San Diego State? What about the San Diego State University quarterback?
I take him too because he's nice. But at the same time, I'm talking about, think about it, dog. We scout players and we look at talent, but you got to look at what's going to fit in your offense. In this offense, Musa fits because that's a passing style offense. Drake May fits because the offense that they had in North Carolina fits. Then you have Michael Pratt. Pratt played in an RPO type of offense, but he also was used to throw that ball. He had a cannon for an arm. So when Tajay Spears was getting shut down by USC, man, that boy put the game in his hands and literally just trashed that defense. And we got their secondary coach at University of Georgia. Let's be real on that. So I'm just saying.
I got something crazy. I got a crazy idea for you.
What you got?
Got a crazy idea for you. And I'm thinking about it is this is not going to be a popular decision. And honestly, if it boiled down to it, I probably wouldn't do this if I'm a GM. But I'm going to throw it out here because we on the Birdcage and we talking Dirtybirdz. So what if we was to get Justin Fields, right? And still draft a quarterback at 8.
I like that.
I'm fine with it.
It would be smart. It would be smart.
Because in Justin Fields, you will still have his 2 years, of control. And if it don't work out, you got a guy right behind him to slide right on in. And it's and all it cost you was hopefully a second round pick, maybe 2/3.
So it's a smart move because, like you said, Justin Fields, we know what Justin Fields brings to a football team. We know that he has accuracy issues. We know he really hasn't had weapons since he's been in the league. And he also hasn't had a franchise that supported him since the day he got to the league. So you give him the opportunity to drive the car. And if you feel like he's not upholding what you need from him, you bring in the young guy and you let him take his bumps, but you know that he's going to be your future moving forward. So, I mean, depending on who we move up to get, that's really going to be the testament of, Coach Raheem and Terry, because they're going to ultimately make the decision. But who's really going to fit that position once we really see how the team shapes up after, the combine, free agency, and all that stuff. Because we don't know who's going to be here, who's going to go. Because we got a lot of guys on 1-year contracts that may not be here. So the team may look 100 times different than what it did this season.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
and
once all of that has been put into place and we start to shape up the roster, then we can kind of get a look at the future of how it's going to go. Because do you want to get a pocket passer like a Drake May or a JJ McCarthy, or do you go out and get someone who can run an RPO like a Justin Fields or something like that? Me and you agree on the whole Russell Wilson thing. Me personally, it's too many red flags that come with Russell. Pete Carroll has spoke on it, and other people around him.
Right.
He's a standoffish kind of guy. He doesn't want people too close to him. He doesn't work with his receivers. You don't want that, especially with a young team like Atlanta. You want your quarterback to have all of the extra time needed to build up that chemistry. And with Russell Wilson, he's a lone dog. He doesn't want to be around people, but he wants full control of the offense. So how do you want full control of an offense when you don't want to put in the work to make everyone else around you better?
Fact.
So that guy's there. I want no parts of. I don't care if his wife is from Atlanta. Him, them kids, nope. I want no parts of it. He can go wherever he want to go. I would take Justin Fields over him. Yeah. I would take Justin quickly before I even look in that direction.
I got a scenario for you.
Here's my question. Can I ask a question real quick?
Go ahead, brother.
Okay, if we do decide to go get Justin Fields, right? Is it gonna be a sign and trade? Are we gonna trade for it and then sign him?
No, please don't do that.
I see that if I'm his agent, that's what I'm asking for.
Of course,
now you need to say. I need to sign a trade.
I say, of course, because you're a good agent. That's what any good agent would do for their client. Yes, if you trade for my client, I would like you to go ahead and give him his extension, so we have security within the organization, and my client can sleep at ease. Yes, that's what I'm saying. But at the same time, brother, ain't no way in the world I'm trading for you and giving you an extension immediately. That's the whole point. That's
why he's not coming to Atlanta. That's why he's not coming.
I got a scenario for you.
Sorry, you got. I got to see something because if people gonna jump on Raheem Morris and his record as a coach, you got to jump on Justin Fields and that QBR rating, that passing, that completion rating, and everything. It ain't just all about rushing touchdowns and rushing yards. What can you do as a passer when they take that away?
But if I'm his agent, I'm keying on the fact that all I keep seeing on social media is your fans keep talking about Justin Fields. So that means there's a want there, there's a supply there. So there's a demand. So I'm trying to supply you. So I need you guys to come up with some kind of. It don't have to be a lucrative deal, but give me something. Let us meet halfway before I come there. That's what I'm trying to get at. And I still say take another quarterback behind him because we're fighting for supreme. Because we're going to develop him. We're going to develop you, Justin Fields, and we're going to develop this next quarterback. If it's Drake May or Jaden Daniels or whoever it may be.
So wait a minute. Wait. Okay,
go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. So I got the next thing I got. You got to remember, dog. I know you cooking, but we got some topics we got to hit. But I'm gonna give one last scenario before we move to the next topic. Now, we already talked about if we take these guys, so we've already gotten that. Now, if we can't get a Michael Pratt, there's a name out here that a lot of people aren't thinking about, and I feel like you could take him and you could develop him and let him heal up and wait. Jordan Travis is a name that you think about. You let him heal up, you bring him in. The guy got better as the years went on, and he truly was a Heisman candidate, and unfortunately, he breaks his leg. Dislocates his ankle. Dislocates it. He's getting back. He's already shining with NFL scouts. Great interviewer. Guys in the locker room love this guy. And you're talking about they had a lot of transfers come from different places. You bring Jordan Travis into Atlanta. You let him sit. If you have a Russell Wilson or if you have a Justin Fields or if you have another quarterback, that is a name that nobody is talking about that you could bring into your offense, who definitely would command the offense. He would be good for publicity. He's well-spoken. He's well-read, college graduate, definitely something that the community could rally behind, period. You know what I mean? So that's a name that I think that needs to get mentioned. But hey, get your regular quarterback who you want. But guess what? You bring in that dude right there, maybe second or third round. Don't say anything about it. That's a quiet steal right there because his leg was messed up, but they said it an arm was.
He had a recent injury. I mean, if you're talking about
you
injuries,
got to send me that name, man. I got some homework to do.
Well,
Jordan
Travis is one of the best in the country. He was
I
need to.
I got you. I'll send you Chris.
Yeah, he's a good quarterback, but he has a very recent injury, so he's coming back.
Right.
But
I
remember
reading the article about the injury. I do remember that. But as far as like really just going in depth and looking at him, I'm not looking at him like I was looking at Jaden Daniels. If that makes any sense.
No, Jaden Daniels is a better quarterback in my opinion. But the key thing is, he's an option that the historian threw out there. So it's a great option to have. But if you're talking about somebody's knee, you can't count my boy out, Penix. So that's all I'm saying.
Hey,
we've already established that Penix is a guy that we are looking at. But I'm speaking on that backup guy that we're talking about drafting. No, I'm speaking of that backup guy that we're talking about taking because we've already established who we going to take in that first spot. But we got to build up that quarterback room because guess what? If Penix is injury prone and a bust, or if Jaden Daniels doesn't hold up, you got to have somebody else you can go to. And honestly, that is a guy that you can go to because here's the thing. They've already said that Jordan Travis will be ready for the fall. Now, another guy that's not injury prone, but unfortunately, he's a turnover machine. But the question is this:
I already know.
You already know what I'm gonna say because he was a name that he showed out. He showed out in the Senior Bowl. That was Spencer Rattler. Apparently,
I'll take him over.
Okay,
I'll take him over.
That would be a guy that you would get in the lower rounds. You would never waste a good draft pick on him.
Well, third, fourth round, fifth round. We'll take him.
That's what I'm saying. Third, fourth round.
Third or better, we'll take
round. No,
third or better, we'll take. Third or better, I'll take.
No, anything below the third round, he can be got. That's just my opinion on that. But you've got to have somebody that can come in and do a few things because at the end of the day, we already know that quarterback position in the NFL, that's one of the hardest positions that doesn't transition in the first year. CJ Stroud just happened to hit the ground running. Every rookie quarterback does not do well. And honestly, Spencer Rattler really is actually better than Bo Nix. Nix happened to be playing college football forever.
Y'all better stop poo-pooing Nick. Nick's got a lot of wins, man. He ain't that bad. You talk about this man like he's a
competition.
Stop it.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying he's a world beater, but the guy's not the advantage I made. No, he ain't that bad, man. That man that bad.
Stop it.
Brant, y'all ain't gonna do all that hate. I'm not saying draft him. I'm not saying draft him, but he ain't as bad as y'all making that guy to be.
Because I mean, this is all the same realm for me. I'm like, all right, Knicks.
So Brant saying trade for Hooker. Look, we can't trade for him because Detroit's gonna have Goff gone soon, and that's gonna be the guy that's gonna be the air.
Gone soon. They better pay Goff. They better pay him. They better pay Goff.
He about to get paid.
No, you better pay Goff.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. If that collapse didn't happen in Detroit, you would have had to have the argument about Jared Goff being elite because he would have been in 2 Super Bowls
with 2 different teams.
Baby. You would have had to start thinking about, is Jared Goff an elite quarterback? That man was 1 win away from being in that conversation.
But you gotta win. But you gotta win one first, big dog. Because guess what? Because think about it. Kurt Warner went to 3 with 2 different teams, and
he a Hall of Famer though.
He went from being a guy that was unknown to becoming a Hall of Famer, long journeyman. So you never know where you're gonna find out the talent. And there's a kid that I would say that I would look at because we were talking about edge rushers, and we got to change the topic because I know we'll go on about our draft picks. We actually gonna have a show where we talk about like different players or whatnot. And you and Smitty and Berto are welcome to come in for that because we're gonna try to have something big. But there's an edge rusher out of Mizzou that we all know about too well.
I know who you talking about.
And he was a menace for the past 4 years in Georgia's side, and in the SEC he was one of the best. Now, I'm gonna tell you like this: he was up there with Dallas Turner, and he was up there with Will Anderson. But because he went to Mizzou, he didn't get the pub that those guys got. So, and I'm telling you, people don't realize Mizzou got some dogs over there, all across that team. Dogs.
Schrader was a beast, man. I ain't gonna lie to you.
It's either him, it's either Schrader or the kid from UCLA.
I like that UCLA kid.
If we go DN at 8, it's the kid from UCLA or Schrader from Mizzou. Those are the only two people that I would even look at.
I like the UCLA kid better.
You don't like
that
UCLA
kid.
Personally, I don't like Alabama players. I just don't.
Hey, coach, man, give me a hug. What?
I just don't. I just don't. Because it's very rare that they pan out.
Man.
It's very rare that they pan out.
Is the only exception.
Well, DeMarco Hellings came in and took Richard Grant's spot. We can't hate on that man.
In my opinion, it's very rare that Alabama players pan out. Because if you look at what was his name, Ruben, the middle linebacker, Ruben Anderson, if I'm correct, he was the number one quote unquote player in the nation. What happened when he got to the league? Trash. Outside of Devontae and Julio Smith, Julio Jones, how many legitimate receivers have come out and been world beaters?
Julio Jones.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. You know Alabama has a Hall of Famer. He played back in the day. You know I'm a historian, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring it up for you. Jerry Rice broke all his records, and that was Don Hudson. That was one of, and then you had Ray Perkins, who also helped the Baltimore Colts win the Super Bowl. That's an Alabama receiver. Alabama has always had solid receivers and good tight ends to come out of that school. They've always been solid at the position. Not saying world beaters, but they've had a couple of Hall of Famers come out of that school at those positions. So all I'm saying is it's not everybody that comes out, but there have been guys to come out. Now, Sean Alexander needs to go ahead and get a gold jacket. That's the only running back.
You can name all those guys that are Hall of Famers. You can name them. Yeah. All the wide receivers that Alabama has had.
But you gotta remember, also Bama was a running.
Fingers left.
But remember this: Bama also was a running team at that time. They didn't change that offense until during the Nick Saban era when he brought Lane Kiffin back and then brought Steve Sarkisian from us into that fold. So that's what I'm saying. He didn't change up that passing game because Bama was three downs in a cloud of dust forever.
Well, I seen some mock drafts having us taking another Alabama player at 8. They got us taking Terry on. What y'all think about that? They got. No, I seen something. They got us taking Terry on.
I don't want nothing to do with Dallas Turner. I'm sorry.
I actually just read up about.
Yeah, they got us taking the 8. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying. I mean,
no chance.
I'm just saying, but mock draft I seen had us taking Terry and Arnold. I'm like, man, we might as well get Kamari Lassiter if I want a cornerback.
Thank you. Or get the kid out of Penn State that we've been talking about, Mr. King, number 4. That's a shutdown corner right now.
What I'm saying is like they trying to, these people are trying to match us with another Alabama player. I'm like, come on, man.
Man, forget all that. I'll take Joe Ott first before I do any of that. And I love Joe Ott. But I'm just saying, take it at 8. I've been on, man. Listen, I've been on shirt up my line before I do that.
Hey, you talk about Johnny Walker from Missouri.
Yeah, Johnny Walker is a bad man, boy. Got a good last name too.
I was about to say, yeah.
I feel like a lot of people we have to see what they're gonna do. And we have more money than we had last year. What we're gonna do in free agency, that'll dictate what we do in this draft. The free agency is gonna really dictate a lot.
But getting to
because I feel like you can fix this line through free agency. You pick up 2 quality offensive linemen and you insert them. They'll probably help this line out.
And we've done that before. Look at Alex Mack and bringing guys like that in, Andy Levitri, and
Yeah, I talked about the veteran center, so. Go ahead, touch on that.
Well, look, we already know we already know we got our resident volunteer that's gonna be trying to get all his Tennessee boys here in Atlanta, as you can see. But Kamal Hadden is a solid corner though. Even though I'm like, man, look, I need to see some more folks, but Kamal Hadden is a solid corner.
Hey, Kamal is very solid. He's just a little. If we can work on his hands a little bit.
Yep.
From being so handsy. he would be a perfect fit here in Atlanta.
He's the Jerry Gray. I'll put it this way. If anybody wanted to know what Jerry Gray played like in his prime, if you were too young to see him, that's Jerry Gray all over again.
Jerry Gray.
That's Kamal Hadden is Jerry Gray all over again. If you're a student of the game, you understand that Jerry Gray was a hell of a corner.
The Missouri, not Missouri. I mean, the Michigan cornerbacks was balling out, man, in the playoff run. I'm not sure their names, but they had some good corners at Michigan.
Yeah. Now here's the thing. Now, one guy I would take, and I'm just gonna be honest, because we're talking about the quarterback situation. If they don't draft a quarterback at 8, which would be a surprise if they don't, go get Marvin Harrison Jr. Get your number 2.
Oh man, I would trade up to go get him.
I'm just being
I think he's gonna be gone.
Go get him.
Right.
He gonna be gone for. He'd be going like 5. I see somebody at 5 taking him.
What if he falls to 8?
I don't even see him last that long.
No, you say you
I just don't see it.
Many teams need a wide. Look how many teams need an edge rusher, and they need quarterbacks like us. But at the end of the day, it's like this. If Terry end up making this move in the offseason or whatever, like we're saying, if he go to free agency to get his first quarterback, you go get Marvin Harrison at 8, and you pair him with Drake London, and you have that other weapon. And then, like we said, you go get your other quarterback at round number 2, because the good quarterbacks are going to be in the first and second round. Purdy just happened to be one of the ones that they slept on. But
I guarantee you, his last name alone would get him gone by the 3rd pick.
I know that Harrison, right? Yeah, I know it.
So here's a question I got for you, because this is going to be a good one. How do you guys feel that nepotism plays with how does nepotism play in bad coaches being rehired after their firings? Because I spoke on this, and the perfect example was Frank Wright. He screws up in Indianapolis royally, and he gets a job literally less than 2 weeks after he's fired in Carolina.
True, another one. Adam,
look at Jeff Fisher.
I was gonna say Jeff Fisher's another one.
Well, no, Jeff Fisher's worse.
But here's the thing. But to be honest, Jeff Fisher took the Titans to the Super Bowl, bro. To be honest, they were in the playoffs back during his tenure. They fell off as the time went on, because when Eddie George left and Steve McNair left, and a lot of the dogs that he had that was there that got him to that point, it started to fall apart. Because as Coach Brandt was saying about Tennessee years ago, man, they squeeze ketchup packets and put it in a bottle to save money. That's how cheap those jokers are. And they're down South Chicago. So when you look at it, Jeff Fisher just had bad luck with that one. He goes to the Rams and they go to the playoffs under him, but they did fall off. But getting back to it, how many of these coaches do we see get jobs? Like, why is Josh McDaniels even considered for jobs as bad as he's been?
Well, you already know his track record, it's familiarity. And let's just be honest, y'all. People are afraid of the unknown. You know what I'm saying? So it's familiarity, man. It's familiarity around the league. And we know that in this world, as we've seen, it's about who you know, what you've done, the relationships. Most of these people are all retreads when you look around the league, because they all have been in it, worked on this coaching staff, worked with that coaching staff, know this person, know that person. Hey, you come along. Hey, I mentored you 10 years ago. You got a head coaching job. Can I get a job too now? You know, it's familiarity, man. And people are afraid of the unknown, to go out and touch somebody different, or touch on somebody different, bring in a different voice. It's familiarity. That's what I believe. That's what I boil it down to: familiarity, and all about who you know and who.
It's about relationships. That's why I keep telling them. It's about relationships. It's about, like, that's why he had a staff in 10 days, 11 days, because I've formed a relationship with these people. I've already worked with them. And a lot of the guys that went straight over, I mean, they came right over from LA, because these are the people that I work with every day. They don't even like Sean McVay. They like working with me. That's why they came over.
Sometimes
they left like that. They left like that. Like,
but they probably got offered more money too. That was the other reason they probably left.
But I understand. But you're leaving. But I'm saying, I understand that you're making more money, but you're leaving a great area, like, Southern California. The weather, This, that, and the third, California,
I would
and
leave
all
in
that.
a heartbeat because them taxes out there in California, they don't get
hurt.
all that money.
I ain't gonna
No,
lie.
I understand. No, I've
They
lived in
gonna
California. I know
half of them
I know it's a lot more expensive, but you didn't have a thought process to where I kind of like living out here. My children go to school, whatever, but they just took up and moved quickly. That's what I'm saying. So there was like I said, the familiarity. I enjoy working with Raheem, and I didn't take another job and go somewhere else because I wanted to get out of California. I came right with Raheem. See what I'm saying?
The nepotism is real though, because take Adam Guyton. This man destroyed Denver, turned around, got a job with Miami,
destroyed
Miami, then turned around and got a job with the Jets and literally put them right
too.
and destroyed them too.
The Jets was already destroyed.
I ain't gonna lie. If they only had a rock, he sure picked it up and at least threw it against a building.
I'm talking about
that man was terrible. But that goes back again to what we were saying about relationships. They trying to rekindle old stuff, like because his offense was good once upon a time. Then
he had Peyton Manning.
They're trying to chase that. That's what I was saying, Graybeard. I swear, I'm with you.
Well, we gotta go ahead and say deuces because we got a few more two more segments to go, and our boy K-Dub got a slide for us. We appreciate you coming through tonight. K-Dub always clutch as usual, my boy.
All right, man. Hey,
appreciate that,
look,
fam.
well, it is what it is, Birdcage. Till next week. All the listeners and subscribers. See y'all next week, man.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man. Shout out to K-Dub.
So now we still got a little bit more familiarity in here, just like that as one of our partners that slid out of here. But as we said, with the familiarity side of things, Raheem Morris is bringing in guys that, like you said, they're familiar with him. And then if he's not familiar with him, the front, I guarantee you, Terry is familiar with him. And he's like, hey, listen, this guy right here can kind of help your staff out a little bit. This is what we can do. We can work with this. I guarantee you that those two are in cahoots when it comes to certain players or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And certain coaches. And this is something that we didn't see with the last regime. Even with Dimitrov, we didn't see this. So I'm just being honest. We didn't see it with Dimitrov either. And now Rich McKay is stepping aside. They're actually going to let, even though he's a phone call away, they're going to still let these young guys cook. And Arthur Blank is going to let these guys try to build a team because, hey, he's got an opportunity. These two have an opportunity to bring in after what Terry did to this defense and cleared the books. You got to trust this man. He cleared your books when you were in cap hell and was able to keep money in your pocket. So at this point, you've got to start trusting the people to do their jobs and stop letting one man hamstring everything. So I know Rich McKay is in his feelings right now. It's okay.
He'll be all right.
Here's the thing: if he get a Super Bowl, if he get a second Super Bowl ring in his life with the Falcons, he'll be okay. He'll stop crying. He'll be all right.
Yeah, he will.
But I'll just say this, man. The other thing that I'm going to put out before we change the next topic is really, it's just one of those things because we talked about familiarity on both sides of the ball, and we pretty much touched on it. But the one thing that I think that's going to really help this team coming up this season is it's not going to be much of a drop-off. It's most of these coaches that are going to really be learning the system unless Raheem tweaks it. And I don't think Raheem's going to try to tweak it too much, but there are still guys that, he can bring in because one of his best cornerbacks that he had while he was in LA is actually in a free agency market at this point. And I don't know if you guys remember hearing about it. And that was he was number 44. I can't think of his name right offhand.
Fuller?
I think Fuller is his name. I'm not sure right offhand.
I know they got a safety or something like that.
No,
Fuller.
he's a corner. He's actually a corner.
Yeah,
that's Witherspoon. His name is Witherspoon.
Oh, Witherspoon.
Ahkello Witherspoon.
Okay.
And Ahkello Witherspoon's best year was last year with him. He was a solid corner, but at this time, you are getting ready to get rid of Jeff Okudah probably because he was on a 1-year deal, and you need another corner. This is a guy who understands Raheem Morris's system. You have a guy that already knows how to play, and you add him there. He's a veteran piece, and I say you still draft a young corner, but you're bringing in that familiarity to add to that defense. So my thing is, let's keep the familiarity going on the defense. You already have Jerry Gray in that locker room that's going to command that respect of that defense off the rip.
Got one of your best friends in Jimmy Leak.
Exactly.
Got one of your best friends. So
here's the other thing. They're also bringing in Justin Hood, Jerry Gray's right-hand man from Green Bay, to be the cornerback, to be the secondary coach.
Absolutely love that underrated move.
And people don't realize that Green Bay secondary was nasty under Jerry Gray and Justin Hood. Before Eric Stokes blew out his knee, Eric Stokes was the best cornerback on that team. And he was an underrated guy at Georgia. He was a 3-star guy that ended up running a 4.2 flat and then ran a 4.19. If you remember, it's on video if you don't believe it.
I believe. I remember.
Great hitter, solid footwork, and you talking about a native son of the city of Atlanta. So, it's always going to be love long as they're not playing us. But at the same time, Jerry Gray helped develop that guy into more of a cerebral player. So if you bring in guys that fit that Jerry Gray mold, you're going to get a great corner, because Pac-Man Jones became better when he worked with Jerry Gray, if you remember.
Indeed. Everyone got there, man. Jair Alexander got paid because of Jerry Gray.
Exactly.
I'm talking about.
And I do have a question for you.
Jerry Gray.
And I do have a question. Because you brought up Jeff Okudah. And everyone knows how high I was on Jeff Okudah all last season up until him getting injured. Jeff Okudah outplayed and made AJ Terrell look like a second string player.
He did.
So if we're going to continue with the familiarity and the consistency on the defensive side, do we bring back Jeff Okudah? Because I understand that we have Clark Phillips III. I understand that AJ is still your guy. If you do bring in a Kilo Witherspoon, do you keep Jeff around just for depth, or do you allow him to walk? Because for me personally, I said it all last season, Jeff Okudah outplayed AJ Terrell hands down for the majority of the season up until he got hurt. There were glimpses where Jeff Okudah got outplayed. There were a couple games where it happened. But for the majority of it, AJ Terrell was barbecue chicken for most wide receivers last year.
Shaq.
That man was barbecue chicken.
Barbecue chicken.
And when AJ Terrell gets beat, his technique goes out the window. He panics. Jeff Okudah doesn't. He relies on his fundamentals and his training. Now, if he could stay healthy, I feel like he would be a lot to be brought back.
Right. That's the biggest question, though, brother. Can he stay healthy? Exactly. And I believe that's why if you do bring him back, you can't sign him to big money, because you just don't know. You just don't know. Like, he'd be good for depth. I mean, because outside of him, we got D. Alford.
Yep, that's what I was getting ready to say. You got D. Alford too.
You got D. Alford. So, I prefer for Mike Hughes not to be on the team. But I mean, I know he's an option out there.
That don't happen.
You still got Trey Flowers out there, who was more better at safety, if you ask me.
Trey's actually gonna get cut. They got him listed to be one of the ones that's cut.
I definitely do believe so. I believe there's a couple guys are going to get cut. Like I just said, Mike Hughes, he can go. I see Trey Flowers possibly gone, because you can draft guys, you can bring other guys in to add to this defense. You got to remember, as far as defense goes, everybody that's coming from the Rams and everybody, Raheem is inheriting a better team overall when you think about it. The better weapons, it's just their offense had more yards because they had a quarterback. But we have a better offense. We had a top-ranked defense last year. They had a middle-of-the-pack defense. And it's crazy because with the scheme and everything, we had one more sack than they did, 42-41. So my thing is, you come in, add your scheme, bring in some of the right players. I believe that this team can go to brand new heights. Clark Phillips, I really like Clark Phillips, and he made a huge case. And I believe that Clark is actually going to get him a starting job. I just don't think it's going to happen immediately. Like, I don't start the season next year with Clark Phillips unless some kind of way he grabbed a growth spurt or something like that. But I don't start Clark Phillips. I think we need to go draft another cornerback as well if we're not going to bring back a coup.
Yeah, I also see D. Alford getting cut too, because if you look at the last half of the season, the last 6 games, he was a healthy DNP.
Nope.
So
I know they had him in that punt game for a minute.
But here's the thing: you got a solid punt. Here's the thing: he actually held his own as a return man. You can actually keep him as a return man. You can. Now the question is this: you got Avery Williams coming back next year off of that knee injury, and we got to see how that's going to be. Are you going to cut him, or are you going to do that? Because think about it: Avery Williams can play multiple positions. He plays running back. He plays cornerback. He's a punt returner. He's a kick returner. And he's actually also one of the guys that you send as a gunner on special teams. And to tap onto to hitch the wagon onto what you said, Chris. Now, Avery, we already know Clark Phillips III it's going to be hard for him to start. We already know that. Now, here's the thing that a lot of people don't remember. One of the great cornerback tandems that never won a Super Bowl was Frank Minifield and Hanford Dixon up in Cleveland back in the 80s. Frank Minifield was not a starter. Now, we had one of his teammates, Birdcage alumni, Mr. Anthony Bellichek, who played in Cleveland with them at that time. He was a nickelback, and he was actually drafted to stop my godfather after the drive happened in 86. So he was drafted in 87 for that. But he talks about the battles that they would have. Minifield was not a starter when he first got there. Minifield was a guy that had to work to get into the starting lineup, and he was out of Louisville, same place that produced big play Ray Buchanan. And he and Ray Buchanan had the same attributes: small corner, fast, and physical. That was the two things that those two had. Now, in that Marty Schottenheimer defense, he figured out how to get on the field. Now you're looking at Clark Phillips III. We don't run a Marty Schottenheimer type defense. We don't. But
of course not.
But when you look at the intangibles, I've always compared the Atlanta Falcons to the old school Cleveland Browns of the 80s because heavy run game, solid and pretty much stout defense. That's what we're built off of right now. Now, we're getting ready to add a passing game to that. So it's pretty much getting ready to change everything. So I see a lot of things coming and going, but I just feel like things are going to get together. And I got to shout out Mr. Terrence Mathis, as I said earlier. He's putting together a solid staff at Morehouse right now. Steve Broussard is going to be his running back coach. He's going to bring in Hardy Nickerson as his defensive coordinator. He's also got Bob Whitfield as his assistant offensive coordinator, as his offensive line coach. Yes, I sent this to the guys earlier, and they were like, "Man," I'm like, he said that into you got to check out Bird Talk, their podcast, because he spoke on that, and that right there is going to excite people. That's the reason I got this Morehouse thing up. But because it's Black History Month, I got to change something because I'm going to present something to everybody today. And like I said, I'm heavy on HBCUs. And one of the reason why we have guys that were taken out of the HBCU ranks is because of this man right here. And he was brought in as an undrafted free agent. And his name is Paul Tank Younger. He played for the Los Angeles Rams. I'm a historian, so this is part of this. I'm also going to show you a clip of what he was. So Eddie Robinson's first player that ever went to the NFL was Paul Tank Younger. And he went to the Rams as an undrafted free agent. He was a two-way player, he played running back and he played linebacker. So when you talk about that time period of the NFL, guys were playing both ways. Iron Man football. It was a lot of that going on.
Absolutely.
And he was one of the best to ever do it. And he was the first Black player to ever play in a championship game outside of Fritz Pollard when it wasn't the NFL, when it was the All-American Professional Football Association. But when the NFL came around, Paul Tank Younger was the first African-American to do so. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play this video for you guys that we have out here. And I'm going to try to make sure that you guys get a little bit of enjoyment of this. Hopefully you like it. If you don't, it's all good. But we got to put this out here for Mr. Paul Tank Younger. Rest in peace.
But when Tank started out, he was as much a sociological pioneer as Jackie Robinson was in baseball. At a time when few blacks played in pro football, Tank endured much abuse, but he fought this prejudice with his on-field brilliance, and in so doing, carved himself a lasting place in NFL history.
In 1949, the Los Angeles Rams made what was then considered a daring move. They signed Paul Tank Younger, the first player from a black college ever to make the pros. Before Tank's historic rookie season, his college coach Eddie Robinson made one simple request.
Eddie told me, listen, Tank, there's one thing you have to do. And I said, well, what is that, Coach? He said, you have to make it. He said, you've been voted the best black college football player in the country from a black school. You are not going to play for the Los Angeles Rams. And if you don't make it, they can always say, we took the best you had to offer, and he wasn't good enough. And in all likelihood, it may be years before another black guy gets an opportunity.
Eddie Robinson's fears were quickly put to rest. Younger, number 35, not only made the team, but also became the first black ever to play in an NFL championship game. As part of the Rams' full elephant backfield, Tank lived up to his nickname by steamrolling the opposition. With this hard-nosed style of play, Younger obliterated both tacklers and long-held prejudices.
The white players on the ball club, I don't think they considered the fact that I was black. The players always accepted me just like I was just another guy on the team. If they were going out to dinner on a Saturday night before the ball game, I was always invited. If they were having a party at their house, I was always invited. And I played with some guys from Tennessee, from Mississippi, from Louisiana, name it. When we would run into some incidents on the field sometimes, because there wasn't very many in pro football at the time. And a lot of times some guys would take some cheap shots at you, you know. And I can remember guys like Dick Huffman from Tennessee used to come up to me and say, Tank, don't worry about him. I'll take care of it. I don't want you to get thrown out of the game by getting in no fight. He said, I'll take care of that guy. So you just keep running the ball or keep making the tackles, whatever the case may be. And I never felt that, you know, I was any different than they were.
Where Younger was different was in his ability to take full advantage of his enormous size. The 226-pounder also played defense, becoming the first black all-pro linebacker in the NFL. Tank even earned accolades from the Rams' most bitter rival, Chicago Bears coach George Halas.
When the game was over, Mr. Halas came by on the field, and he put his arms around me. He says, Tank, you're the dirtiest, roughest, no-good SOB in the league. So you know what? I sure wish you played for me.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I like I said, I had to make sure I did that because at the end of the day, many guys would not be in the league right now if it wasn't for this man right here coming out of an HBCU and flooding the NFL with all the talent that we have. The greatest pass rusher we ever had was Claude Humphrey. Y'all can talk John Abraham all you want to, but Claude Humphrey was that dude. Tennessee State alum. Yes. And was one of the baddest men to ever put on a helmet. So I had to do a little something. Yes, I'm a Falcon fan, true and true. But for me, it's all about supporting. It's Black History Month. So I told folks that I'm going to always have something up where whether it's a player, whether it's a coach or something going. We had Fritz Pollard last week, and I had to put that out there. And I'm laughing at my guy, Daniel. Now, Daniel, I don't know why you want to try me with this. I have the nickname the historian for a reason. The first player ever drafted that was a black player came out of Indiana University by the name of Mr. George Taliaferro. And he's a Kappa, by the way, a member of Kappa Alpha Psi, brother.
I already know I actually knew that one too.
Yeah, and whether you know it or not, I actually see this is what I hate when jokers like that try me. That's my boy. But why are you gonna sit there and try me, dog? This is what I'm gonna show you. Do you not see the background, dog? I do this. This is what I do. That's George Taliaferro in the back. Come on, man.
Don't do it.
Don't do it to yourself.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna sit here and keep you guys, man. I appreciate y'all for coming through. I wanted to end the show on a good note with Mr. George Taliaferro. I'm sorry, with giving you a little knowledge on Mr. George Taliaferro, but also Mr. Paul Tank Younger. So I'm gonna try to do little snippets for you guys at the end of shows. But this is, like I said, if you don't like it, that's fine. You can always tune in, and then if you don't want to see it, you can always slide out. We're not mad at you. But for those that don't mind learning about the NFL or whatnot and learning the foundation of the bricks that these players that we root for stand on that look like us, you got to know your history, man. So that's pretty much a little something I got for you guys, a little treat. I got something coming for you guys with the Falcons because one of our first black players was Mr. James Cannonball out of Edward Waters College. It's Edward Waters University now, out of Jacksonville, Florida. He was a running back. So just a few little tidbits that I got. I'm gonna be doing some Black History stuff all month when it comes to the NFL. So please stand by with that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Want to thank my guy Chris Tipmore, and gotta salute my guy Graybeard for coming through. We went a little over tonight, but I'm fine with it. It is what it is.
One second.
What's up?
Super Bowl prediction. What you
got? If Pat Mahomes isn't hurt, I got Kansas City, but if Pat Mahomes isn't hurt, I believe the 49ers got a chance. If Pat Mahomes get hurt in any kind of way, it's like a fighter seeing blood. He turns into a killer when he's hurt. Because think about it, both Super Bowls he's been in, he played with a bum knee in the first one and won. And then the last one last year, he had a bad ankle and won. When he was healthy, he lost to Tampa. So we got to see how he plays when he's healthy.
Ooh, but I think it's going to come down to one particular matchup. Who's going to win between Travis Kelce and Frank Warner?
Boy, that is the key matchup right there. Good one, Craig. Good one.
That's it for me because Travis has been on one, and that's one of the best linebackers in the league. So I really want to see what's going to happen.
Boy, that's going to be a heavyweight fight.
Can we say dog?
Dog.
I'm talking about red clay dog fight.
All day.
How did they say dog? Just you got dogs coming out the kennel in this one. But I agree with my guy Millie Mills on this one. I think the X factor is
1000%. But I love some Rashid Rice. That man can play football. You understand me?
Yes, sir.
That man can play football. He's definitely an X factor. But I'm going to tell you somebody who's even more of an X factor than him, somebody that's going to get forgotten about and may end up burning the 49ers. And that's Valdez-Scantling.
Yep. No one forgot about him. Nobody's talking about him, but nobody has forgotten about him because he's definitely a guy that can hurt a defense, and especially with that defense. But people are sitting here sleeping on Kansas City's defense at this point. And KC, their defense, Snead has been the best corner in the playoffs to me because they picked on him all during the playoffs, and that dude has done nothing but produce. So, without further ado, well,
it's Spagnuolo, man. Spagnuolo's defense.
Very true. Go ahead and promote your show, bro, because we need you to get it out there to the people so they can check you out too.
Hey, man, Chris Tipmore, A1 Forever Sports. A1 Forever Sports on YouTube, man. Come on by, man. It's a show that's cool and fly too. Don't you settle for less because you can always have more with the vision, just like that last name. And also be generational because it's always time to be, man. We'd love to have each and every one of you come by, and talk some Falcon football. We also do Atlanta Hawks, Atlanta Braves, I'm trying to, dib and dab into a few different
no doubt.
One time. So just come on by, man. We can talk sports. Instagram, A1 Forever, TikTok, The Real A1 Forever is where I drop like some videos and stuff like that. Little knickknacks and everything, little snippets and shorts and stuff like that on there too. And also, X, Twix, whatever you want to call it, A1 ROC or A1 Forever. You'll definitely find me as well, man. I would like to thank the Birdcage, Ryan the historian, who don't have that name for just no reason. I'm telling you, he ain't no BS over there when it comes to being an historian, because I even learned something today. So I appreciate you for that, Mr. Ryan. And also Graybeard, man, who he just looks like a guy who just don't play that shit. So just don't play.
Hey, man, that's my military. That's my brother in arms right there from the military, man. But we definitely appreciate you. Hang on after the show for a little bit. But we got to, but look, y'all ain't got to go home, but y'all got to get the hell up out of here because guess what? It's time to go. We love y'all. We'll see y'all next Thursday. Y'all be blessed. Peace.